Hero and scoundrel, public servant and public menace. That is the image of the journalist that popular culture gives us, showing good journalism saving the day and bad journalism wreaking pain and havoc. It suggests that in spite of formidable obstacles, the press and its noblest ideals will somehow endure.
What's that racket?
That's the press, baby. The press.
Hi, my name is Joe Saltzman. I'm Professor of Communication and Journalism and Director of the Image of the Journalist in Popular Culture, the IJPC, a project of the Norman Lear Center at USC Annenberg. The truth is that most people don't know journalists. They don't visit newsrooms or any place where the news is being created. So how come they think they know journalists?
I thought reporters always did things like that. At least they do in the movies.
I went into the library trying to figure out why the image of the journalist was important. After about 5 years, in 1995, I came out with 10,000 pages of notes. The key to the IJPC is our IJPC database with more than 89,000 items, including the journalist in film, television, fiction, and all aspects of popular culture. Students work on this, I work on this, continually adding into the database. It is the worldwide resource for this subject. It is very important that we understand the image of the journalist in popular culture because it reveals why the public feels the way it does about our news gatherers. And if they do not trust our news gatherers bringing them the information they need to function in a democracy, then all is lost.
Put that in your column.
One of my favorite projects is the image of the journalist in silent film. People thought there aren't any journalists in silent film, but we discovered there are plenty of journalists in silent film. And what we've done is we've analyzed them. Besides discovering that the stereotypes of journalists started in silent films, I also discovered that many silent film plots turn on misinformation they get from a newspaper. Everything the silent film characters read in the newspaper, they believed and acted upon. I came up with close to 600 films that show this happening. Many of my colleagues and students think that the image of the journalist today is the worst it's ever been, but that's not true. If you go back to the 1930s, you can see horrible images of journalists. There's a film called 5 Star Final, produced in 1930, that is a vicious portrayal of a tabloid journalist. One of the journalists pretends he's a member of the clergy, goes to a couple that they're doing a story on, and gets all this information by pretending to be a minister. He comes back and then writes a story that results in that couple's suicide. It's a terrible portrait of a journalist, and that was in 1930. The one dramatic thing that has changed in the image of the journalist is that now people of color and women are featured in films about journalism. On one hand, it was one of the few places women in the 19th and early 20th century could get a job. On the other hand, for a long time, women in real life could not cover legitimate news. They were told to just do soft news, recipes, anything involving the home. If they wanted to cover real stories, they were usually told no.
You wait here.
Oh, but I'm going to go with you.
This rat hole is no place for a woman.
But I'm a newspaper man.
Well, you just sit quiet and maybe nobody will notice it.
Pop culture reflects the culture we are in. It does a wonderful job in showing the potential of journalism to give us the information we desperately need to be a functioning democracy. That's why it's so important to study this. It's a wonderful way of understanding what our news media is all about.
Good night and good luck.